Hi, I'm Mark Russell, reporting from the Philippines.
So, what does it mean that your family has an open door policy?
Oh, but pretty much as I can explain it, it would be that any time, probably, I would say any time that it's a reasonable hour of the night or in the day, anyone that needs help medically, sometimes financially, or family things, can come to our house. And if, like, my dad isn't here right now because he went with a group of indigenous people, the Ati, because one of the children that hasn't had he's had problems since birth. I don't know what the word is for it. What would the word be?
Cerebral palsy.
He's been having trouble since birth with, he doesn't learn as fast, can't really walk, and they believe he had a seizure, so my dad went with a group of them to the closest hospital to check in on him. And there's probably countless times that we've had someone show up for something simple or something complicated, like the one time we were in our house in Janelle, the pastor in the tribe, had ran here a couple minutes after one of the older boys, John, had came and said there had been an emergency, that someone in Tiki, which is like a close by, not sure what you would call it. You just call it a province. I was trying to nearby had been in a nearby province and had been having a medical problem. So my dad got in our car and drove probably like 2 hours, and then went up mountain, out of the way town to a village where he was, and then drove from there. It would probably been midnight by the time he got there or something. Picked him up and drove him to Iloilo, the capital city of the island we're on, and there they had been treating him. I think he had had a seizure. What was it?
Final diagnosis and anencephaly.
I believe they could hear you, so I can't repeat that word. Like physically can't. But it means that anyone that wants to come can come for anything they need.
Is that a good policy or a bad policy from the kid's perspective?
Sometimes it sort of feels like they're stealing your parents, but it sounds like I don't like my parents, but sometimes that can be good if you, I don't know how you put it without sounding like a jerk, you don't want to be around your parents for a while. That can be nice, but but that is definitely good for the tribe. It's helpful to everyone. We definitely don't have working hours, except in my entire memory, there's only one day that we have ever been closed, and that was only from morning to noon. And that was not a while back. That was sort of recently, but that's the only time I can think of we've ever had that. But it's depends on what day, personally, on what it would mean or what I think of having an open door policy.
So what's the hardest thing about living in the Philippines?
From the perspective of a child?
Yeah, for you.
For me, it would be lack of people speaking my language. Luckily, when we arrived here, God blessed me in that with originally it was just 2 or 3 kids, who spoke English almost as good as Matthew did, and over time that amount grew to 5 or 6, and that's nice. But overall, not many kids, and I sound lazy, but I've never bothered to learn the language overall. But I can get by with a simple conversation in English to almost any random person you pull off the street.
Do you speak any Milano?
Enough to go to the store and buy something. And it's not like going to Walmart, but everything's in Milano, the local dialect. The stores are sort of like a concession stand in a way. Some of them have been walk-in stores, but there's only a few of those. But I know enough how to go in, tell them how much I want of it, the name of it, the greeting to tell someone like that you're buying, that you want to buy at the store is bakal. I know like hello, but that's not really in Milano, but I know how to greet somebody. I can count to I think 7 maybe. But not overall very much. Now, my older brother John is fluent.
Do you know how old he was when he learned to speak Milano?
He was like 12.
He was 13. How old are you?
12.
See, there's still time. He spoke about as much as you do when he was 12, and when he was 13, he just made up his mind to learn it, and he learned it. So you could too.
Theoretically.
So what is the best part about living in the Philippines? From your perspective, what's the most fun part about being in the Philippines?
I feel like in America, no matter where I live, I probably would not have the freedom to get on my bike and bike to a Sari Sari, which is the stores, and buy something. Like if I had money to go to the store and buy junk food. In America, 2 reasons I wouldn't be allowed to do that. Mainly because I'm not allowed to go on large roads or anything like that. Also because my mom hates junk food.
How's junk food priced here compared to America?
Oh, it's amazingly cheap. Like, if you had an American salary here, you could easily become, I'm just going to say, you could easily become obese. Because a candy bar the size of a Hershey's bar would be 17 pesos, right? The Goya's 17 pesos, and that's like really high-end chocolate here. You can get American candy, but that's lower than you would get in America. Really? It's more? But the local candy is cheap. Like,
About $1.
it's a cent. It's like a peso to cent ratio. Or is it
No, because
a
it's
cent to
1
peso?
to 50.
So that'd be it.
It's 2 cents per piece.
So you could get, with 16 cents, you could get a candy bar, for, yeah, Philippine candy bar, not like a Hershey's bar. But you can get a liter of Coke for, that must be $1.20. And so everything's relatively cheap. Eggs are 14 cents a single egg. Isn't it like 7? Is it 7? So it's
14 cents, yeah.
14 or 16 cents.
No, I've seen this.
Um,
You're right. Good math.
That's
All right.
not my
If you could send a message to your former Sunday school classmates in Martinsburg, what would you tell them?
Of what grade?
Well, the grade you're in now.
Oh, yes. Well,
Your
there's
friends.
people that have been there for certain grades and have not the upper grades, right? But only a few. It's definitely fun hanging out. You guys are unique and fun to be around. I didn't have time to think. Overall, that you guys are just great.
About how can people be praying for you as you're living in the Philippines with your family?
As my life in the Philippines or my life overall? Just
Whichever.
personally, I want better math grades.
Personally, you want better math grades.
That we are able to get farther in our steps to discipling the native people here, to then be able to go out to the other native people of the Philippines and teach them without having us like hold their hands as they learn to walk.
Personal prayer request for you?
That I do well in school for the rest of the year and the rest of my schooling. Bye.
Are we done?
I think.